Hi, happy December. This is Jessica Simpson Taylor with Connected by Heartbeat. Once again, we are coming to you on a wonderful Monday to say, what's up, y'all? While we get ready for the name game. I am with Connected by Heartbeat, where what we are aiming to do is to help us be more connected in this wonderful world of ours. Often, technology as it has increased, we are socializing differently, right? We got a lot of thumb socialization going on, but oftentimes we do forget that as people, we need that human touch. So we have the family and friends and come out, and we have the Friendship Summit. We kicked it off this year in 2024, and the name game is an extension of the Friendship Summit. So, what we are doing all of 2025 is that every Monday at noon, I will pick a name from this lovely box. And on Wednesdays, we'll join a call if your name was chosen that week, and we'll play games and have prizes. So, while I was prepping for this, I thought, hey, why not chat with you while I am getting ready? So I started out with about 600 names that I am actually cutting and putting them into the box. And yes, I have already said, had I known that the box I would find would be this size, I probably would have gone a little bigger on the names. But there's a lot of different names on here. Looks like we're maybe they're intermixed. Now I see Monica on this one, and there's a Anne on this one. So we still have quite a few to go. So we're gonna try to get through these. But I thought it would just be fun to come and chat with you while I am prepping for the name game. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today. First of all, did y'all have a good Thanksgiving? Oh, honey, I had a good time. As I told you last week, Thanksgiving is big for my family. It's the one time of year that we all come together. So it was good seeing everybody. Everyone showed up at some point during the week or on Thanksgiving Day, and the food was good, and the laughter was too. It's really good. I know in my family now, we have adult grandkids, and then we still have elementary school grandkids, right? But to sit and really allow those children to talk to my parents and get information about them as people, and see that interaction happening. I didn't think to sit down much with my grandparents and ask them questions. And I did a little bit with my mom's mom, and I found out some things that I was so surprised at. But I guess I thought her life was like off limits to me, right? And I remember riding with her, and we were in the back seat, and I think my mom and aunt were in the front. And I remember asking my grandmother, can I ask you a question about you? And she's, just the shock on her face was like, of course you can, baby. And I remember asking her, like, did you ever drive? Like, I've never seen you drive. And my grandparents didn't have a vehicle, but I remember the look on her face and the feeling in that moment that she was so surprised that I thought it was that I had to ask permission to ask her about herself. So that's one of the reasons why I try to initiate some of these things with my parents and my children and my nieces and nephews, because I want them to have the opportunity to get to know their grandparents as people. So, with that in mind, I thought today, as we are entering the Christmas season, that maybe I would talk about some traditions that we have in my family that my children and I do. And hopefully some of you will share in the comment area what are some traditions and things that you do with your family. There are lots of people out here that think that having a tradition has to mean something different than what it does, right? It's kind of just like when I asked my grandmother, can I tell you about something? Or can I ask you questions about yourself? It's really not as hard and as difficult as we think it is in our head. There is no right or wrong when you're doing something that's fun and healthy for your family. So don't feel as though it has to be big and extravagant, or it has to look like what someone else's looks like. But hopefully the comments and what I share today will give you some inspiration to do some fun things. And all of it, it's really just to build some memories in your family and treasure some experiences together. And it's always fun when you have something that you all enjoy and when you look forward to doing it every year. And if you have children, or even me as an adult, there are things, and what my parents said, and I know my brothers feel the same way. There's some things that, even though we're all adults and have our own families, there's some things we still want to do when we go to mom and daddy's house. Okay. So, and we're gonna say something if it's not happening, right? So I had a couple of things I wanted to share that I do with my children. The first thing, you see it behind my head, hot chocolates, right? We have a hot chocolate bar every year with lots of different toppings. Sometimes we do it as a part of our annual Christmas party. Well, if we have a Christmas party a year, it's always there, right? That's our thing. We do a peppermint and chocolate party, Christmas party. So my daughter came up with that name, and part of it's about peppermint, because peppermint was a thing. Hot chocolate was a thing, because we had a hot chocolate bar, because that's the essence of having a party. So, so that's kind of been a tradition, and I think because I've always loved hot chocolate, and it was kind of my thing before children. So I think that's why it just kind of continued. And then as the children came along, it became the bar and more fun, and the toppings were, more different, and we had more fun with it. But that is one of the things that we do quite often every year. Even in the cold, listen, once it gets cold, we're down for the hot chocolate, right? A lot of times I'm making it from scratch, just because, it's fun and I like to experiment. And then other times, honey, it is the packet out of the grocery store. So, like I said, grocery store, Dollar Tree, whatever works. Listen, it's about the memory that you share. It's about, even if you do it with fun stories, or just sit around together and watch your favorite Christmas movie. It just adds a little something that can be a tradition for you and your family. Another thing that we do, and I'll tell you where this one came from, and I have to move this a little bit to tell you about this one. So, a few years ago, I'm going to say it was probably about 6 Christmases ago, right? So let's say 6 years ago. I noticed that I felt that my children needed some help thinking about or hoping for things, right? Um, I guess it was technically definitely before the pandemic. But my oldest was like middle schoolish. And, like I've said before, there's a lot of transitions that's going on in middle school. If you have children and they're not, and they're not going through middle school yet, hold on, hold on to the reins, okay? Because it's going to be a ride for you parents. It's going to be a ride. Not it wasn't bad, like, they weren't running down the streets or causing havoc, but anyway, we'll talk more about that maybe another day. But anyway, I wanted to do something to encourage them to continue to dream, to continue to have things that they aspire for, or toward. So what I did is I started like this tree, and it's been different. Like it's this white one now. I've had, like the green little Charlie Brown trees. Just picked up something very simple, and this is the future tree, right? So what I had them do is just write on a piece of paper what they wanted to accomplish, or a place they wanted to go, somewhere they wanted to visit. And we would put it on the tree, right? And you can do this very simply. I've done it with just a random piece of paper, because when I came up with this idea, I didn't prepare for it. It was just an idea I came up with to just get them to open up and, not forget to dream. So like here, this year is going to be a sticky note, and I'm going to fold this top part down so the stickiness doesn't get on anything or irritate. And it's just a regular hanger that you would use to hang an ornament on the tree. And I simply put a little hole in it, and they would write on it what they want to do, right? So I'm just come up with something random so I don't share any of theirs, because sometimes they couldn't think of anything, but the point was everybody had to write something, right? I don't care that you're upset that you have to write it. You have to write down a dream. You have to write down something you want to accomplish. And so they would write it on here. I want to learn to skate, right? I want to be able to skate backwards. That's a good one. I want to be able to skate backwards, because we go skating. So, I drive them skating. Like I drive them to the rink, right? They do the skating and I drive. So let's not get it twisted. I hold a wall with skates on. That's what I do. But anyway, so they would write on here that they want to learn to skate backwards, right? And then we just hang them on the tree, right? That's our future tree of what we want to do. And again, if you want to put this on your regular Christmas tree, you can. On our regular Christmas tree, we also have commemorative ornaments, like from Hallmark, that have something to do with what we accomplished this year. So often, let me tell you how this has worked. So these, I keep them for the fall. I keep them so we can look at them the next year, right? And then if we've accomplished what it is, then I do a commemorative ornament to put on our actual Christmas tree, so that they can have a sense of accomplishment, and then encourage them to write something the next year, right? So that's one of the things that has become a tradition. And I give them until Christmas Eve really is when I am like, okay, go ahead, hurry up, put it on the tree. But Christmas Eve is when we put it on. This year, I might use this. This is just one of the trees I grabbed out of the other room as a part of decorations over there. It hasn't really been decorated yet. Sometimes I put ornaments. I bought like little small ornaments to put on the smaller trees. And then other times it's only been our future desires and wishes. And it can be as many as you like. When I first started this, it was something just to get them to put one on the tree. So as long as you have one, then there have been years that they put multiple things on the tree, right? So I think it's just one way. I'm really big on dreaming and setting goals and accomplishing those goals. So I think it's just one more way to encourage your kids to look beyond today and to give them a hope of a future, and allow them to realize that they kind of direct and decide the great things that they can have in their lives. So that's one of the things that we do. So I hope that it's inspiration to someone. The other thing that we do, I had it in here. Anyway, so I'll just tell you. So I pulled it out. I'm not a good go live person if I'm not going to have everything right here, right? So, and I don't know if they carry it today, but once upon a time, it's not very good. I wanted to show it to you. Once upon a time, Hallmark carried a kind of a time capsule ornament, and inside it, the top twist off, and it's hollow on the inside. So you actually can write messages in it and put it in. So normally it's the way I've done it in the past in my house is that we put a message to one another inside the capsule to be opened the following Christmas, right? And it can be anything. It can be anything. So I just talked to the kids yesterday, and they said, yeah, we definitely want to do that. So I showed them the old one, and they said they want a new one. So we'll do a new one, and so that's what we're going to start this year. And that's the other thing. Don't feel like you can't add to your traditions or change them, right? It's your family. It's what fits. What may have fit, 2 years ago may not fit your family now. I'm supposed to be cutting, not just talking. May not fit now, and be flexible. It's quite okay. It doesn't matter. It's what works for your family, right? If your last name Jones, that's great. But if it's Thomas, you don't have to be like anybody else. You don't have to be like the Joneses or anyone else. So that's what I wanted to share today. Family traditions. What do you all do? I know there's some people out there that have some great things that they do. In the comments, share so that people can get ideas and find a way to connect to the people in their lives in ways that they may not have thought of before. You may just inspire them to come up with something that they do in their family. So tag your friends, tag your family, and let's talk about how we are intentional about making traditions and memories within our families. So this is Jessica Simpson Taylor. I'm going to cut up some more of these today off camera because we really got to get this box done. We have like 3 more weeks to finish up before we actually start pulling. So again, let me tell you how the name game works. Every Monday, I will come in this box, and here's some names here. Let's see what these are. Kiera, Keith, and Kelly, right? Those are 3 names. So again, male and female names. If I pull your name, you're invited that Wednesday to join us for a call. And it'll be Wednesday evening, 6 p.m. Eastern. And we will play games. And if you are so inclined, you can turn your camera off and speak to everyone. We'll see how much we have in common with the other people on the call that share your name. And we'll give out some prizes and find some winners and just have a good time. Again, it's a friendship summit, weekly basis, connected by Heartbeat. We are on YouTube, where we are streaming, also on IG. We are streaming. We're on Facebook as well. So come on out every Monday, starting January 6th, and do see what the name is for the week. Hear how we'll be meeting up. And if we call your name, regardless of how you spell it, join the call and let's have some fun. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Jessica Simpson Taylor with Connected by Heartbeat. Build some memories with your family. Figure out the traditions that you really want to have. And just find ways to enjoy and love one another. We'll see you next Monday, 12 o'clock Eastern. Bye.